Hello, my name is Michelle Mortini. I'm a coach and training specialist with Impact Group, and I'm glad you've taken the time to listen to this recording of Distinguish Yourself in the Interview. In today's job market, most companies use the interview as their prominent method of making hiring decisions, and while fair or not, the success of your interview will likely determine whether or not you get the job offer. A great resume can get your foot in the door, but it's the interview that lands you the job. Being prepared for the questions that you'll probably be asked in the interview is the best way to alleviate some of the stress of the interview, but also raise your confidence level. As you listen to this recording, think about what potential interview questions make you most nervous. But in this recording, we're going to concentrate on some questions that you can probably anticipate, and we're also going to discuss how to prepare yourself to answer those questions. Let's start with the first question you're likely to be asked in the interview. Tell me about yourself. Your chances of being asked this question right off the bat are very good. Your 60-second or even your 30 or 45-second presentation statement, sometimes it's known also as an elevator pitch, it's just simply a personal introduction that you can use to quickly and articulately describe who you are, where you've been, but more importantly, where you want to go. There are a lot of great intro pitches out there, but executive coach Eddie Turner has a very good soundbite. Eddie says, I'm extremely passionate about technology and learning, and I'm very interested in using my years of experience in technology support and teaching combined with my Northwestern education to help manage an organization's technology project team. Or for an organization that has a learning and talent development department, I'd love to help them power up their employee engagement through the use of technology such as social media and new phone services. So how do you like it? What strikes you? Well, Eddie describes his passion and uses words that you can actually see, like power up. And best of all, he focuses on the employer and how he, as a job seeker, can help them meet their needs. So why is this question so important? Well, let's face it, up until this point, the interviewer's probably only seen your resume and maybe has talked with you on the phone. Now he or she wants to see you in action. And this deceptively simple question is typically the icebreaker, but honestly, it can be pretty intimidating too. The interviewer is evaluating your communication skills, delivery, confidence, and poise. And if you aren't prepared, you can blow an interview with just this one question. So how do you formulate your answer to tell me about yourself? You really want to speak to the points in your presentation statement. Keep your remarks work and career related. Be concise. This is not the time for an autobiography. So don't waste time talking about your childhood, hobbies, personal life, etc. Everything you say should convey the following message. I have strengths and achievements that match the requirements you're seeking. Even with this, the very first question, you're beginning to sell yourself. So here's another question that you may be asked early in the interview. What are your strengths? You could say something like, I'm very customer focused and have strong follow-through skills. As a result, my customer satisfaction ratings have exceeded 98% for the past 3 years. And you really want to think about what process you go through in preparing for the interview to answer this question. You want to think about inventorying your skills, experience, strengths, weaknesses, in terms of how they relate to the job for which you're applying. This is really self-assessment. It's self-knowledge, and this component is so important to your interview success. To do well here, you simply have to show how well you match the job, that you're exactly what the interviewers need. And you can use power stories very effectively in answering this question. You'll be demonstrating strengths and the value, that is, the benefits and solutions that you bring to the party. But choose your PARs wisely. You want to think about those examples that map to the most important requirements of the job. Be specific. Use metrics in your results, and that is going to help you be memorable. You definitely want to be prepared for this one as well. Why did you leave your last position? You could say something along the lines of, My company has gone through three major reorganizations in the last 5 years and a recent merger that resulted in a 20% reduction in force. 2 months ago, they made a decision to eliminate 18 positions from the core marketing team, and mine was one of them. I had an opportunity to transfer, but I chose not to. I also have the opportunity to apply for other positions within the organization, but right now they seem limited, especially with my skill set and experience. That's why I'm very interested in discussing this position with you and learning more about what it entails and how I can match my value with your needs. You may also find it more appropriate to talk about any relocations that you've currently gone through. Each geographic move my husband and I have decided to take has been a result of a career opportunity for one or both of us. My successful track record in over 4 markets as both an employed account manager and independent consultant demonstrates my ability to develop effective account relationships quickly, even in a new market. Those transitions help me develop my strengths in quick evaluation, needs assessment, and communication campaign development. They also help me develop a style which is more global versus regional. So think about what you've already done to prepare for the question of why do you want this job? Well, hopefully you've already completed your position matching and marketing analysis, and it's a document that's available to you on myIMPACT. In part one of our interviewing series, we talk about how the position matching marketing analysis worksheet can help you prepare for the interview, and it's a critical aspect of your strategy to effectively differentiate yourself from the competition. Completing this analysis helps you prepare dynamic, memorable responses to questions you'll be asked in the interview. The position matching analysis allows you to map your experience and skills to the job requirements and helps you prepare dynamic, memorable responses to questions that you'll probably be asked in the interview. The question of why do you want this job? Well, this is right down your alley. Here's your opportunity to concisely and compellingly convince the interviewer that you're a great match for the job. Visualize that position matching marketing analysis, the you want versus I have list, and then just go down the list. Hit the high points. Here's your chance to say, this is exactly the kind of work I like to do, and you know what? I can do it very well. And as for why you want to work for the company in general, use the research that you've done to emphasize how the company's goals align with your career goals. But avoid predictable responses such as, it's a great company. Instead, tell why it's a great company. Cite that your career goals are in alignment with the organization's goals. What about this one? Tell me about your weaknesses or even your developmental needs. This may not be everyone's favorite question, but you have to be prepared for it because it will come. So what have you done in your preparation to address this question? Hopefully you've inventoried your strengths and weaknesses, again, particularly in terms of how they relate to the job for which you're applying. But you also want to consider some strategies as you respond to this question. You never want to respond that you have no weaknesses. That could be perceived as arrogant, naive, or lacking in self-knowledge. But at the same time, you don't want to offer up more than one unless you're pushed by the interviewer, and try to avoid the cliches like, oh gosh, I just work too hard, or I'm a perfectionist. A good strategy is to cite a weakness that you're working on or that you've corrected, and you want to choose something that's not critical to the job that you're interviewing for. In the end, it's not so much the weakness itself that matters, it's the fact that you're aware of it, its consequences, and that you've taken steps to overcome it. Your ability to handle this question effectively and with confidence sends a powerful message about your strengths. For example, your answer may sound something like, I used to have a problem delegating, thinking that I was the only one who could do the work in a quality manner. Now, I take pride in handing off assignments to my team and watching them gain satisfaction in doing the job well, not to mention the growth that occurs within my team. What about this one? What is your most significant achievement? Well, this is really your dream question. This is the one you've been waiting for. You've done your position matching and marketing analysis. You've figured out what the most important requirement of the job is, the absolute deal breaker. That is, that thing that if you don't have it, you're probably not going to get the job. Then you want to make sure that you've carefully selected your most outstanding PAR story to support your ability to meet this requirement. You've wisely chosen the one that was the most challenging, most remarkable, the one that you're proudest of. That's the achievement you save for this question. And you really want to make sure that as you tell your story, that you identify the strengths you've demonstrated with this achievement. Try to do it in under a minute, and you'll really distinguish yourself from the competition. What about why should I hire you? Well, you've got to love this question. This is another great opportunity where you can distinguish yourself from the rest of the pack. It's all about what you can do for the company and not vice versa. You want to focus on how you can handle the responsibilities of the job. Show your readiness to take on the job. Briefly review your qualifications, your experience, achievements, skills, qualities, and why they make you an asset to their company, why you are the best candidate for the job. Emphasize that you've done a good job in the past and you will certainly do the same for them once hired. Describe your potential to do great things. And you don't want to come across as boastful, but don't be too humble either. Be assertive and confident. What about this? What salary do you have in mind? This is a tough one. You want to remember to delay discussing salary until the company has a strong interest in making an offer. When it comes to talking about money, whoever mentions specific dollars first can often lose. You could say something to the effect of, salary is important to me, but even more important at this stage is understanding the scope and responsibilities of the job to ensure that I'm a good match. However, if you find that the interviewer is insistent, throw the question back. I've been wondering about that question myself. What is the range that you're offering? It's important to do your salary research before the interview, and that's easier than ever before by using the salary calculator on myIMPACT. You can also use salary research sites such as Glassdoor, payscale.com, and salary.com. But you also need to think about what your particular salary range is prior to the interview. If the interviewer still won't let you off the hook, say something like, having researched the salary in XYZ for someone with my skills and level of experience, I would expect to make something in the range of X to Y. And you always want to provide a range rather than a specific single number and let them know that you're negotiable. If you're faced with a question such as, what's your current salary? Don't feel obligated to provide an answer. Say something like, I was paid well and in line with job market conditions. I'd welcome the chance to talk about my compensation later in the process when we've decided I'm the right person for this opportunity. While being prepared to answer their questions with excellence is important, it's equally important to have a prepared list of questions that you want to ask. And there are a lot of reasons why this is so important. You want to show that you've done your research and you're motivated to learn more about the company and the job. You want to indicate to the interviewer that you're taking the process seriously. Definitely, you also want to be prepared to differentiate yourself from the competition by asking thoughtful, penetrating questions. This process can also help you determine if this is the right company and job for you. Asking the right questions takes as much skill as giving the right answers. You want these questions to be so insightful and so perceptive that they become memorable for the interviewer. Ask the questions whenever they're relevant. Don't wait until necessarily the end of the interview. You want to stimulate conversation. As they respond to your questions, listen intently for any problems they identify. Can you provide some solutions? Think of this as your hidden agenda. Before asking the next question, demonstrate the value you bring by sharing suggestions to solve their problems, reinforcing that you're the best fit for the job. Remember, in this example, you're the consultant and your interviewer is your client. The best questions really are all about them, not about you. And some really simple, great questions to start with would be, how do you describe the ideal candidate? How do you envision this position supporting you? How does this position fit into the company's long-term plans? How do you define success for this position? Take it to the next level by asking questions that show you've done your research. Visit the company's website and Career Center. Use the research tools on myIMPACT to research the company, explore strengths and weaknesses, study the most recent news and articles, study comparative data with competitors, and use LinkedIn to network with people on the inside. So you're almost at the end of the interview. What are the things that you want to make sure you cover before they close out? Well, you want to definitely summarize your qualifications and re-emphasize your interest in the job. Ask if your qualifications seem to match what they're looking for. This is going to help you determine whether they think you've done well in the interview and have real interest in you. If they seem a little evasive or won't answer you directly, ask what questions they have relative to your candidacy. You want to identify any gaps between your experience and their requirements. You can either address those concerns as they share them or in your follow-up correspondence. If you feel like you'd be a good fit, say so. Ask for the job if you feel comfortable doing so. Definitely remember to inquire about next steps. Ask when a decision will be made. Find out if you'll be contacted or if you should follow up with them, and ask for a business card from each person that you interview with. And then definitely show your thanks. So, you've completed a grueling interview. When you get home and have a little time to relax and decompress, what's the very first thing that you want to do? Well, you definitely want to complete the interview performance self-evaluation tool, and you can find it on myIMPACT. Do it while your experience is still fresh. This self-report card enables you to candidly check what went well and what didn't. And then follow up immediately on any loose ends or commitments that you have made during the interview. Don't drop the ball. Remember, your follow-through skills, important later on in the performance of the job, they're being judged right now. Write a thank you email to all of your interviewers within 48 hours at most. And this is essential for two reasons. One, it's good etiquette, and most employers expect it. But two, it's another opportunity not to be missed for you to market yourself and to showcase your written communication skills. Thank you emails can make or break you, so take care in composing one. Keep it concise, though, no more than 3 to 4 paragraphs, and personalize each letter, and remember to include a statement of your appreciation, reinforcement of your understanding of the job, but also how you're the best fit, and if appropriate, address any open issues or perceived gaps in qualifications. Did you forget to mention a project or assignment that would reinforce that you have the right stuff? Did you fail to answer a question adequately, or maybe you didn't answer it at all? If you think this could be a deal breaker, then by all means respond to the question in your follow-up correspondence to dispel any doubts or misunderstanding on their part. And then close the note in a positive, upbeat manner. Restate your interest in and motivation to do the job. And finally, answer the question, what is the greatest value that I bring? In one compelling, dynamic final sentence. myIMPACT contains a wide variety of correspondence samples, including thank you letters that you can use to help you write the perfect follow-up. So what about follow-up phone calls? A lot of job seekers say, what am I supposed to do if I don't hear anything? What do I do? How do I handle this? Well, a good rule of thumb is to wait at least a week before making a follow-up phone call. There's a fine line between being conscientious and being annoying. You've got to also think about the length of the hiring decision process. It's not unusual for the hiring decision to take as long as 2 months, sometimes even longer. So patience and persistence are definitely called for. But don't stop searching as you wait for that sure offer. Don't put all of your eggs in one basket. The upside to continuing your search is, for all you know, you may uncover a new, better opportunity that does result in an offer. So by doing that, by continuing to search, you've just created another option for yourself, one that could potentially be leveraged in your salary negotiations down the road. So thank you for listening to this recording of Distinguish Yourself in the Interview. Take care.